Hey, Strick, guess what?
What?
I'm using my my new superpower. You know how?
No, what is it?
It's mind-bending influence.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's good. So you will go to patreon.com/nice guys. You will contribute. How's it working so far? Has anybody moved over to Patreon yet?
I'm going there right now.
Oh, wait, you already contribute. We need our listeners to go to patreon.com/nice guys.
For as little as $1 or $2 a month, you can help support the podcast. Come on, guys, we're not asking a lot. Doug's superpower.
It's working.
I know it just seems like one big run-on sentence, but it's actually a podcast. Here's what's coming up on the Nice Guys today.
You know, I am a starter, right? I'm an agent of change, and so I just think that it really boils down to understanding what you do really, really well. And for me, I'm a starter. I'm not a finisher, much to my wife's chagrin.
So tell me, when the time is right, will you be ready for the Nice Guys on Business? Oh yeah. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Hey, are you... Whatever. What the fuck ever?
Hey, Mom. Hi, Mommy.
This day has been such a mess. Welcome back, Funkin' fans. I was going to say thank goodness it's Friday, but it's not. It's only Wednesday. We are
It's
just
Wednesday.
It's what a mess.
You know, Strick, you're going to need to reinvent yourself.
I'm so glad you talked to Mr. Bold today, Steve Olsher, because we need a business badass on our team.
Steve is totally a business badass, and he's all about reinvention, and he's he's finding your what. Okay, I know. I think I talked to him about is this just a spin-off of Simon Sinek's what's your why? But no, this guy's legit. I mean, he is a badass to the bone. Okay, so they call him Mr. Bold. Like, how do you want to be remembered? For what you did or for what you didn't do? Yeah, of course we want to be known for what we've done. So he helps you kind of shape that into your world. He helps you understand what your reinvention is all about. And he's a great guy. Also a nice guy, too.
He's got his New York Times bestseller book called What Is Your What? And you can actually get a free copy of it by going to whatisyourwhat.com. And it is all about, there's a lot of this week. On Monday, we talked to Alyssa about playing to your strengths, right? And What Is Your What is all about finding the one thing that the one amazing thing you were born to do. That's what he's all about.
And he's hilarious. He's very funny. This is an episode that be ready to drive your car off the side of the road because he's very funny. He's got a radio show called Reinvention Radio, and I think that was originally how I met him. I think I met him through, again, this is a big Nicole Holland week. I met him through Nicole, our friend, our joint friend. And he's got a fun radio show, which I'm actually going to be on. And he invited me to come out to a conference. Get this, Strick. I think we might have fooled him. I think I really may have fooled the guy because he invited me to be an icon of influence.
I know. We've talked about that before.
This is funny. This is funny. I mean, hopefully he's not listening to this episode. You don't think he'd listen to this episode, do you?
Yeah. Why would he listen to his own interview, right? God forbid.
Yeah. So he invited me out to San Diego. I'm just kidding. He's a good guy, and he invited me out to help share the message about how to market more creatively, how to understand what you're all about, how to reinvent yourself, and how to do that from a creative marketing perspective. So he invited me and about 30 some odd other people out to San Diego in September to be a part of this program called the Icons of Influence, or that's what we are, the Icons of Influence. I can't remember the name of the seminar, though. I guess I should know all these things.
Probably be a good idea, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you may not need to know it because as soon as he hears this, he's going to kick you off of it. So,
that's true. Actually, it's called the New Media Summit. How about that? I pulled it out.
Okay, you pulled it out of your ass.
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
I did.
enough.
But I didn't pull out of my ass all of the questions I'd ask. I'm actually prepared for this interview. It might not sound like it from the interview itself. See, that's my way of really disguising what we do here on the Nice Guys on Business. We really we make it sound like we actually don't know what we're doing when in actuality we do. Does that sound like, is that right?
Sometimes we really don't know what we're doing. But yeah, okay, let's roll with that. I'm good with that. That's our story, and we're sticking to it.
Yep. Steve is giving away a free copy of his New York Times bestselling book, What is Your What? In order to get a copy of that, all you need to do is check out today's episode. Somewhere in there is a little bit of a... if you put it in the show notes...
Doug, I think I just said it a minute ago. I said the name of the website where you could get it for free.
So it's not going to...
I could bleep it out and make people have to listen to the episode and then not put it in the show notes, but do we really want to do that?
No, because that would require you to do a little bit more editing.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
That's probably not good. All right, well, I think we should just get to the interview with Steve. But before we do that, let's say the promise statement is to provide a learning experience. No, it's not. What is our promise statement? It's to provide an experience that is entertaining and adds value to your life. Hell, he is not going to invite me to this New Media Summit thing anymore.
Now, if we were providing a learning experience, then maybe he would. But now that you've changed the promise statement, it's all gone to hell.
Yeah, I just have my mindset on I think we really just need to get to the interview. I'm very distracted right now. Very distracted.
You can hear Steve's podcast if you go to steveolsher.com, and it is the Reinvention podcast. He does a podcast also. He's really interesting, and he owns liquor.com.
He does?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. He does. He actually started building Liquor by Wire, worldwide gift delivery of wine and spirits in 91. And then in 93, he attached that to CompuServe's Electronics Mall, in which he says, okay, he says, okay, so I picked the wrong horse. It happens. And then in 98, he acquired liquor.com. And then that was, where things got nuts. Yeah.
Jeez. Do you think that you don't think he's a one-trick pony though?
Oh God, no! In 2005, he has a real estate development company that reached $50 million in transactional value assets in 2005. He does keynote speaking. Oh my God, no! He is like ridiculously well-rounded.
Yeah, he's going to totally withdraw his invitation to have me come out and be an icon of influence.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, well, while we have him on the show, then we may as well use his episode.
Right, exactly.
All right, let's get to the interview with Steve Olsher. We are, again, proud to be affiliated with the C-Suite Radio Network. Steve Olsher, the nice guys on business. Let's do it. You ever wonder what your what is? And how about what is your what when your first what didn't work? I mean, confused about where life is going and taking you. I mean, aren't we all still? I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to be when I grow up. I have no idea. Today's nice guy guest, Steve Olsher, is here to chat about it, that, what, be, whatever all of those things are. Host of the Reinvention Radio, an amazing guy, best-selling author and expert at talking about new media. Welcome, Steve, to the Nice Guys on Business podcast.
Well, thank you very much. It's a little bit of a who's on first kind of thing, isn't it?
It was confusing to me because, I think, what's the Simon Sinek, what's your why? Or
start with why.
Start with why. And everybody's got some sort of variation. But then I started reading your site and I'm like, fuck, God, I just want to figure out what my what is. I kind of know what it is. Nice guy community, just so you're aware. And Steve, I'll give you a chance to talk any minute. Now, just give me a second.
That's okay, man. I'm just here for the ride.
Yeah, they're used to me already. So I spent some time going through your site, and the more I'm looking at your site, the more frustrated I'm getting with not your site, but
that's my intention. Exactly. As everybody that comes to my site, I just want them to get more and more frustrated. So good. Thank you for validating that.
Yeah, that's it. You didn't drive me to your site. You drove me actually to your site to want to find out more information, because isn't the what the biggest thing that everybody is just trying to figure it out?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? So I've actually had a chance to have Simon Sinek on the show, as you mentioned, Reinvention Radio.
Crazy, man.
Which was good quality fun. And we had a nice little why versus what promo on that and all. It was good quality fun. But look, reality is the why is awesome. I mean, I totally get that. And you can choose your why. I mean, it's like, do you want to feed starving children in Africa, or provide clean drinking water to, kids in India, or, take care of your family, or whatever whatever that reason might be. You can choose your why. And I love that. But I don't think that you can effectively serve your why until you're clear on what your what is. And so to me, your what is really, that's what's it's in your DNA, man. I mean, it's like, I say that your what has chosen you. It's not that what you have chosen. And so, I really do believe that you can choose your why. I don't think you can choose your what.
So talk about the show for a second, because do you spend a lot of time talking about your what on the show? I mean, it's Reinvention Radio. That's the name of the show, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so tell me, hey, is that Steve O'Brien doing your intro?
It is Steve O'Brien doing the intro.
Shit. I'm listening to the fucking show, and I'm like, dude, you stole our voiceover guy. No, or maybe how long you been doing your show? I want to see who's
off and on since 2009.
Oh shit, you've had him. How long have you had Steve-O in your arsenal?
I think he did ours in 2014, something like that.
I love the fact I'm like listening to your show. Nice Guy Community. Go over to Reinvention Radio. Can they get it right on iTunes?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, go to Reinvention Radio on iTunes and check it out because it's actually Steve-O doing like
It's the same guy.
It's the same guy, but he's doing like a legit, like, you have a really professional, tight, nicely run show. You have a whole bunch of people on. Everybody sounds good. You got like probably a professional soundboard. We're like fucking
we do it as a live radio show.
Oh,
we do it as a live radio show. We do it Morning Zoo style, and then we repurpose it as a podcast.
Oh, geez. Okay, I got it. So, Steve, has he ever been on your show? Like, come to the studio and do it?
Nope.
I think he's like in somewhere like East Bumfuck, so it might be tough to get him over there. So, where do you actually record?
This episode is sponsored by the good folks at Steve O'Brien voiceover. Right? I mean, like Jesus, we're going to make the whole episode about that guy. He loves us now.
We are sponsored by Jesus, so this Latter-day Saint, Seventh-day Adventist Latter-day Saint. No church group has ever got. We had a whole conversation on our show about the guys peddling Jesus from door to door, and
nice.
It was
the Mormons.
Do you actually want to be affiliated with the show? We've dropped Jesus. I've said the word fuck probably 17 times already. Are you sure you want me to actually play this show?
Please do. No, this is if you listen to Reinvention Radio, we get pretty interested. We had a great time talking about Shaniqua and her sausage, which is a classic story. If you ever have a chance to Google Shaniqua and her sausage, and that's a great story about things that take place at Walmart that no one should know about.
So talk about the. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off track there, but as a listener to the show, I know that it's very often that we go off the rails, pretty much commonly every day. So
I don't know that you're ever on the rails that I've listened. I mean, it's like that's what I love about the show, man. It's like I don't count on you ever being really on the rails.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, we've done a good job of training you that we have no idea what the hell we're doing. But talk about Reinvention Radio for a second, because the episodes that I've listened to, and now we'll listen to more, knowing that Steve-O is doing the beginnings and the closes, is talk about like what the purpose of the show and how it's all put together, because I love your format.
Yeah, and so sure, we do cover some of the what is your what type conversation. We do have what we call What Is Your What Wednesdays. And by the way, listen to the intro and the outro on the What Is Your What Wednesday, because we've got a couple of songs that we did that are just killer.
Nice.
But that's a whole other conversation. But Reinvention Radio, when we bring people on and those segments of the interviews, it's really all about people who are, as we put it, dismantling the status quo and have reinvented their lives in some sort of meaningful way. And that could be, of course, on a personal level, but also on a business level, and people who are just really doing some incredible things, and just have these some of these folks that we have on just have these most incredible stories of perseverance and transformation, and it's just so awesome to be able to share what they're doing. But and then again, we have other folks on that people know, like the Michael Hyatts and the Simon Sinek's and the Lewis Howes of the world, and so we kind of really do run the gamut.
Isn't it fun to get, like, I know I love the big name guests, but I think oftentimes the best guests are the ones that are the everyday common folk. Like, I wouldn't put you in that category, but like me in that category.
Yeah. Well, it's like, how many times do you want to hear from the same fuckers? It's like, okay, Gary, Gary V, great, we get it. Tim Ferriss, yay, awesome. I mean, Seth Godin, whoopee. Guy Kawasaki, it's okay, we get it. You guys are cool. You've been on every show. Yep. We've heard it. And so, some of my favorite guests have, as you said, I mean, literally been people that, and as broadcasters, I mean, I think that we take a certain sense of pride in breaking the stories of folks that no one else knows about.
Yeah.
Because that's really where it gets fun for us, is like we had these 4 girls, the Lucci Quads, these 4 beautiful young women came in studio, and you looked at them and, they're just cute as can be. And what you would never have guessed was that they grew up in Beverly Hills to a pretty wealthy family. The father was ridiculously abusive. The mother was in complete denial. The father left the family. The mother left the family. And these 4 girls are sitting there in their early teens without parents in this house. They get evicted, and they go from living in this plush Beverly Hills mansion to being in foster care.
Oh, jeez.
and it's like, what do you do from that point? And so their story of what happened from there, I mean, just being able to share what they're up to was just, I mean, that was one of the highlights of doing the show now for the better part of, 300-400 episodes or whatever we've done now.
Yeah, that's very cool. And so what's the message that you're looking to get? If you would say that this is the one goal for our show, is it hey, you can overcome all adversity in your life, or you can do it too? Or, I mean, what is the message?
No, fuck no. No, I mean, you can't. Right. I mean, look, reality is, if you've got a debilitating, condition, I can't help you with that. I mean, it is what it is. But here's what I know, is that life starts over right now. And it starts over again right now. Right. And you have the power to choose what to do in this moment and in literally every moment that follows. You talk about in a lot of the stuff that you write and that I see on your site and the research that I've done, you talk a lot about the power of the new media. So I'm assuming podcasting is a part of this new media platform, or maybe I'm wrong. Are there other things associated with it? No, you're spot on. So we define new media as having 5 different platforms. One would be audio, right? And then so you have recorded audio, like podcasting, but you also have live audio, like Blog Talk Radio or WS Radio or Zcast, or one of those. Mm-hmm. So audio would definitely be one. Video, of course, is a second platform, and that can be live, Facebook Live, Periscope, etc. And then you have recorded video, YouTube, Vimeo, Wistia, etc. So that would be number 2. Number 3 is social media, and of course, we don't have to go through the usual suspects on that. Number 4 is blogging, and that can be both the written word and video blogging, so vlogging. And then number 5 would be mobile. So mobile would include like apps and that sort of thing. So those, as we define them, those are the 5 primary new media platforms. I want to ask you a question, and then I'm going to put you on the spot here because I think that you do such a great job with it, but you just don't do it enough. What's going on with your blog, man? It looks like I'm looking back to 2016, and I'm thinking, why I like podcasts because I get to hear other people that are in our space, but I feel like I pull more information from the written word, even a paragraph or two. You Sure. had it, you were doing great, and then you stopped. Why? Why? I got nothing else. I'm done. I've shared all my. I've written 3 books. I've shared all my brilliance. I do a radio show. I got nothing else. No, actually, truth be told, man, I've been working on the world's longest blog post. So when I post in 2017 here, it's going to be like 60,000 words. Oh, geez, you got a whole other book. So you have another book in you? That's going to be my next blog post, my next book. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be really cool. Have you enjoyed this run? I mean, do you see a reinvention coming in your life? Or I know reinvention is happening every time, every day. Sure. Nice Guy Community, just so you're aware, Steve and I actually spent about 40 minutes on the phone or Skype or whatever it was. What the fuck is it? Mm-hmm. What do we do nowadays? What do you call each other? Whatever it is. So we were talking to each other, and I'm getting lost in all of the conversation because he's actually now coaching me through a whole bunch of like my little life. It was. Will you come on my show? Sure, I'll come on your show, and that'll be $10,000. Wait a minute, how did that work? Yeah. So see, you don't. So do you find that have you gone through this reinvention yourself? Is it something that you do on a routine basis? Yeah, for sure, man. And in author land, they say that you write the book that you most need. And so for me, this whole question of what is my what, and not, of course, using that terminology, that vernacular when I started, but it's always been a question for me that I've had for most of my adult life. And so what I have become very clear on is that reinvention isn't necessarily about changing anything at all about you. It's really just about kind of shedding the shackles of the outfits and the personalities and the whims and the agendas of others that have been thrown upon you, and just kind of getting back to the core, to the essence of who you really are. And so it's almost a stripping down as opposed to an adding on, if you will. I think that Joe Boggess would tell you it was when he was 8 years old and had a bear scare the shit out of him. That's what I think it would be. Right. And that's how the mullet was built, I think, at that point, right? I love Joel. Do you ever get calls from Joel is a listener to your show, I'm assuming, because he connected us together. So can we pick on him a little bit? Oh, I would love to pick on Joel. There's nothing I would enjoy more. So, all right. So how long have you been friends with Joel? I'm just trying to set this up so I understand in my mind who I'm talking to. Right. No. So I think Joel was on Reinvention Radio about 2 years ago, and I think I was on Relaunch maybe 2.5 years ago, something like that. Okay. So every once in a while, my phone will ring, and it's Joel.
And Joel is like an old.
Is he drunk? Is it like in the middle of the night? Is it a booty call or what?
I don't think Joel. No, I think Joel's got paid for that, doesn't he? Doesn't he have his wife for that?
He does pay for that. Yes, that's what I've heard.
So I the phone rings every once in a while, and it's Joel, and I keep thinking, God, it's really nice. Joel is calling, and then. If I'm available, I'll pick up the phone and we'll talk. And I'll go through maybe 20, 25, maybe even 30 minutes of conversation. And I'm thinking, is there a reason why he's calling me? And there never is a reason. He just wants to call to talk, to say hi. I can't.
Just wants to chat.
That's
so sweet.
Is he a chatter?
Evidently, he, well, I mean, if you do 400 episodes, I think you have to have a little bit of the gift of gab.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, I mean, I love what he's doing over there with Relaunch, and I think it just to some extent it's pretty complementary to a lot of the stories that we cover through Reinvention Radio. There's definitely a lot of crossover for sure.
So you're not going to go on the hook and say anything bad about him.
Hey, Joel, look, Joel will be at the New Media Summit in September. And now that you're going to be there too, we can pick on him together in person. Why? Because he's not going to listen to this episode. So let's just get together and we'll pick on him in person. And so between O'Brien and Joel, we've given your listeners here absolutely nothing.
Well, wait, what should we tell? Why did you come on the show? What actually did we want to talk about anything specific? I thought we were just shooting the shit, Steve.
Oh, well then mission accomplished. We're good.
I don't know. Joel put us together originally, so I'm thinking here's good fodder. We can talk about Joel a little bit. I can make fun of the fact that he calls me without any specific reason. I keep thinking at one point he might have something to sell me.
Is he just bud dialing you though? He may literally just be bud dialing you. Does he actually say something?
Yes. No, it's 30 minutes of me just saying, Joel, are you there? Joel, are you there? No, it's actually, we're having a conversation. I was in the car one time with my son and he called and I'm thinking, oh, maybe this is cool. Maybe he just has a question about a guest. This was the first call that I got. And so I'm picking up the phone and I'm like, hey, Joel, what's up going on? Hey, nothing, just calling to say, hey, what's going on? And literally, I'm telling you, it was, and I love the guy, and I hope he knows that I'm not bitching about him. And believe me, Joel, just keep calling me. I have plenty of guys that are in my community, Tim Hill, you being one of them, who will just text me or randomly call me, and I'm like, I know there's got to be some point for the phone call, but no, there never is a point.
Yeah, you know what? I've got a suggestion for you, and just take this with with a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. But
go ahead.
But I'm thinking there may be there may be some self-worth issues there, and maybe some self-esteem things going on because people might actually just like you. But I understand. It's hard to embrace that people might just like us and just want to talk because they enjoy our conversation.
I can't possibly imagine anyone that would want to talk to me less than anybody. My mom calls me. I'm like, Mom, is there a reason why you're calling me today? All right, let's get back to the show here. All right, so Steve, so what are we promoting? There's got to be something. You got a project you're working on. Let me help sell something for you. What do you got? What do you have?
Yeah,
you actually don't have anything. You have a book. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah. and for the listener who's still on with us now, thank you for staying with us past it. We love you for hanging out with us to this point. But you, I mean, obviously that I'd love for folks to grab a free copy of the book that we're talking about, which is What Is Your What? Discover the one amazing thing you were born to do. And it did hit the New York Times list in 2013, but I actually give that book away now.
Wow.
For free at whatisyourwhat.com/free. So whatisyourwhat.com/free. People can grab a free copy of that book, and I'd love for folks to go out and figure out, exactly what their what is, and it guides you to do that. And if you do that, it makes this world a better place, which makes it a better place for me. And that's why I give it away.
I agree with you 100%. All right. So since you're talking about business, let's just get on to a couple other business things. All right. Because I think it makes sense. We keep the show kind of tight that way.
Did I mention it on liquor.com? Did you catch that in the bio at all? Did you see that?
Wait, which one?
Liquor.com. What you drink.
No,
I've actually been online, dude. I've been online since 1993. We launched on CompuServe's Electronic Mall in 93.
Wait, Electronic Mullet? Electronic Mullet?
Yeah, exactly. Joel's Electronic Mullet in 1993. Yeah. And yeah, man. So I picked up the liquor.com domain in 98. And that's actually a domain I've owned off and on ever since. And now on since 2009. It's kind of some long, convoluted stories. But all about mixology and cocktail culture. And we get about 3 million uniques to the site a month. And work with all the biggest brands in the world.
Crazy. So what do you don't need to do anything.
Let's talk about online marketing.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Well, okay. So we're going to do that. Let's get to the tools, tips, and tricks part of the show. I love this part. It's where you actually get to share a life hack, a technology tool, and maybe some action item, a business tip for them. So if there was a technology tool, would it be liquor.com, or would there be a whole different one? Technology tool that you would think would be good?
Yeah, I mean, yes, liquor.com. No, I mean, look, from a technology standpoint, I actually I've gone in really crazy directions in terms of technology that I've used in the past, but reality at this point is I think I'm too old to try to complicate things. So I really just keep it super simple. I mean, the pages that we build with lead pages. The funnels that we build with click funnels. You know, the CRM we use is Infusionsoft. I mean, we just keep it super simple. Yeah. And I think the fanciest piece of technology that I use at this stage is probably Camtasia.
What the heck is that?
That's the video editing software. Oh. And I love that one. And if you don't have Camtasia or ScreenFlow, you know that's part of that group there. That's a great one. But no, man, I got to tell you, I've really just toned it all the way down to keep it as simple as possible. As much as I love technology, I hate it.
No, I'm with you on that, definitely. How about a tip, an action item, something that people could take away today when they hang up their rotary phone from this podcast?
Their rotary phone, yeah, great.
So when that one listener that we still have hanging on actually hangs up, he can put some action into play
and
tomorrow.
They're gone now. Okay,
yeah, right. Should we just hang up now?
Yeah. So tip, reality for me is that it always starts with being super clear on how you're naturally wired to excel, because anytime that you create something, whether it's a business or an initiative or whatever it might be, that's not built off of the foundation of what it is that you really are just great at doing, it's not going to be sustainable. There's going to be an expiration date around that, but it's more than that. I mean, it's not just the core gift that's in the DNA, and that's the first part of the What Is Your What framework, is understanding what that core gift is. There's also making sure that you're using the right vehicle to share that gift, which is the second part of the framework. But then the third part of the What Is Your What framework are the people. And the people that you're most compelled to serve. And so the main tip that I would have is just forget about, if you took everything else out of the equation in terms of the money, in terms of the activities, in terms of, just what it is that you're doing on a day-to-day, are you truly serving those that you're most compelled to help? And can you go to bed at night, look yourself in the mirror and know that you did all that you could do to serve those people? And if the answer is yes, I'd say you're onto something really good. If the answer is maybe or no, then you might want to re-examine.
I love that. How about a trick, a life hack, anything that you do on a regular basis to kind of trick yourself into success or to action?
I am a starter, right? I'm an agent of change. And so I just think that it really boils down to understanding what you do really, really well. And for me, I'm a starter. I'm not a finisher, much to my wife's chagrin. But, it's just like...
Sometimes it's better. For your long starter, it might be okay.
Right? Yeah, well, unfortunately, no. But so, reality, though, is I know that I've got to bring in other people to help bring my vision to fruition. I'm really good at creating the vision, not so good at executing it. And there's a lot of pain and frustration and trial and tribulation that goes on when we try to do things that just aren't complementary to our highest and best use, our best skill set. So I would just simply say that trick for me is just recognizing when I'm getting into the weeds of doing things that really just are not where I should be investing my time. And so to that end, the biggest trick that I can offer to you is just be really aware of whether or not you are spending or you are investing your time. Because there's only two ways to use your time. You can spend it or you can invest it. And most of us just have way too much time pass us by that's being spent.
Off the topic a little bit of tools, tips, and tricks, because I feel like you kind of get me. I mean, in that conversation that we had before we started recording, and certainly through the last 23 minutes or so of recording, I think you kind of got my agenda. I think part of the problem that I have, I just don't know when it's time to invest and when it's time to invest money and stop investing time. So the biggest concern that I always have is I try to do it myself because I can't. From a cash flow perspective, it really is challenging to spend thousands of dollars on any given project. So I'm like, okay, well, I need to do this on my own, which takes me away from the time of the important things like business development and product development and, just the stuff that working in your business instead of working on your business. Yeah, it's my biggest concern. So how do you counteract that kind of shit?
Yeah, and this episode actually is all about you, man. So I've been just trying to subliminally throw this out at you as we've gone through.
Oh, I didn't realize this.
Yeah, so it's just trying to help you as much as I can.
Thank you. Well, hey, these are paid counseling. This is broadcasted counseling sessions.
So be more specific. Like, give me an example of
sure,
something that you've experienced where this might come up.
Okay, so where this might come up, we have a business that we are trying to promote, whether it's my speaking business or anything that's related to our podcast. I'm also doing all of the social media outreach, all the content curation and creation, and everything related to that. And it doesn't allow me to look at the bigger picture, which is how do I market what we do so that we can actually monetize something. Mm-hmm. So that's the busy work of your business, and I'm not. I guess I use me as the example because it's the easiest thing for me to think of. But I guess on the other side of it, how many people are out there in our listening audience, in our Nice Guy community, and in your listening community that have a business and they don't know when the fuck is it time to stop working in their business and start working on their business?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely something that is kind of like a light switch, and frankly, you're in the on position at this point because you recognize it. A lot of people will go years without recognizing that they're involved in activities that just do not provide the best possible return on that time. And that's how you have to look at it. It's just like $1. If I've got $1, how am I going to spend this $1? Mm-hmm. You got to think about it in terms of your time and equate it to money, because at the end of the day, that's how a lot of us equate what takes place during the day is, did we make money? Did we not make money? How much money did we make? How much money did we lose? And when we look at the time invested and whether or not that provided any sort of meaningful return from a monetary standpoint. And so that's a really good way that I would suggest that you look at it is, at the end of the day, did this further my business goals that I've identified? And frankly, most of us will go through a day, a week, a month, a quarter, a year without really having a clear-cut understanding of what the true goals or objectives are for that period of time. And so if it all really just boils down to money for you, and maybe that's the quote-unquote currency that you use to judge your success by, that's fine. And if so, you can look at the bottom line and understand whether or not if the time that you've invested has provided that meaningful return, then it may have been well spent. Maybe you are the best person to be doing that work. But at the same token, if you've got, thousands and thousands of listeners, which you do, are you serving them in the best possible way that complements how you can help them with what it is that they need solutions to? Because I do believe that every single one of us is the solution to someone else's problem.
Yeah.
And so are you truly working on creating that solution for them?
Well, and that's where I would say simply no. I don't think I am. I think that my community might tell you differently because the message that we're creating on the show might be enough for them to feel like, well, you're resolving our problem of not having entertainment on our commute. But that only fulfills a certain need. There's got to be other needs that they have that they're not even aware that we can, and I'm not even aware of what those are. I always look at money spent as money spent rather than money invested when it comes to my business, and I think that I just have to flip that switch so that I don't see it that way. It takes money to make money, and I invest more of my time than I do my money in my business.
Yeah. And so it's a great way to think about it. Am I spending my time or am I investing my time? And if you just keep that mantra in mind, it'll really help you make better decisions about what to do with your time.
This has been a amazingly enlightening episode for many different fronts and channels for me. Steve, if our Nice Guy community wanted to get in touch with you to find out more about what you do and how you do it and get to your show and all that, is there just one spot where we can go to do that, or where should we go?
My house.
Come on over.
Just come and visit me. I mean, I think that's probably the best way. You'll see the life that no one should ever see. But no, if you don't want to come over, then certainly Steve Olsher, OLSHER.com would be awesome. But I'm only being a little bit facetious because people can come see you and me and so many others at the New Media Summit, man. So maybe we'll just get a community of nice guys to hang out there with us.
How awesome would that be? San Diego in September. I couldn't think of a better place that I'd want to be than San Diego in a month that it's probably getting really shitty, the weather here in back east. Hey, Steve, thank you so much for being a part of the show. And Nice Guy community, please make sure you reach out to Steve in any way, shape, or form. The more you touch him, the more he likes, is what I hear. Well, at least that's what his co-host has said a couple of times. Nice Guy community, never underestimate the power of nice. Again, special thanks to Steve for being on the show. Steve O'Brien, take us out of here.
The Nice Guys on Business are professional podcasters. Please do not try this at home. It may seem simple, kids, but lots of people get hurt in the process. Void where prohibited, including Mexico, Puerto Rico, Fredonia, or your in-laws. The Nice Guys on Business are not responsible for any claims of liability or any guarantee that these two morons know what they're talking about. There is no promise that being nice to people will help your business, but calling people assholes, dumb, incontinent fuckwads will definitely lose you business. For any and all claims, shit in one hand and wish in the other, and see which one fills up first. Thank you for listening to the Nice Guys on Business podcast. I'm Steve O'Brien. Yo, bartender, Jobo needs a refill. Jim O'Brien? I do opens and closes for 60 fucking episodes of this stupid-ass show and you can't even remember my goddamn name? Do you think I get paid if I said, and here's your nice guy, Dave Silver? They throw me out on my ass and never look back. They don't pay me enough for this shit. Nice guys in podcast land my ass. I should call John Lee Dumas. I'll bet he appreciates his voiceover talent.